Welcome back to Grammar Grade 10. This is Unit 5, Lesson 35, and today we put the verb on a clock. Every verb tells you what happens, but it also quietly tells you when. That when is called tense, and in this lesson we'll master the three simple tenses: present, past, and future. By the end, you'll be able to place any verb exactly where it belongs in time. Let's get started. Every verb does two jobs at once. It names an action, or a state, and it tells you when that action happens. That second job is called tense, and tense is simply the verb's way of showing time. Picture a straight line running right through your sentence. Behind you is the past. Right where you stand is the present, and ahead of you lies the future. That is the line of time, and every verb has to sit somewhere on it. Now watch a single verb travel that line. She walked. She walks. She will walk. It is the same verb, wearing three different times. Today, we'll master those three simple tenses, one at a time. Let's start where you stand, the present tense. Most people think it means right now, this second, and it does. If I say, Samir feels nervous, that is happening at this very moment. But the present tense does far more than that. It also names an action that repeats, a habit, a custom, something a person does again and again. Marcus walks to the harbor every morning. He is not walking as I speak. Walking is simply what he does, morning after morning. And there is a third job. The present tense states a general truth, something that was true yesterday and will still be true tomorrow. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That is not a habit, and it is not this instant. It is simply always so. So the present tense covers three things at once: what is happening now, what happens over and over, and what is always true. There is one spelling detail in the present tense you have to get right, because it trips people up constantly. For every verb except be, the present tense looks exactly like the base form of the verb. I walk, you walk, we walk, they walk, plain and unchanged. But the moment your subject is she, he, or it, one single third person, you add an S to the end. She walks, he walks, it walks. Notice what that means. The third person singular is the only place the verb changes shape. That little s is the whole difference. So add s for she, he, and it, and leave every other subject alone. Now step backward on the line into the past tense. The past tense names an action or a condition that was started and completed in the past. It is done, it is closed, and nothing about it is still going on. Marcus walked to the harbor at dawn. The walk began, the walk ended, and now it lives only in memory. To build the past tense, you reach for the verb's past form. For regular verbs, that is easy. Walk becomes walked. You simply add ed. For irregular verbs, there is no ending to help you. You have to know the form. See becomes saw, and go becomes went. Either way, notice something important. The past form does all the work by itself. You do not need a helping verb at all. Now step forward, past the present, into the future tense. The future tense names an action or condition that has not happened yet, something still out ahead of us. And here the verb needs help. To form the future of any verb, you place will, or the more formal shall, in front of the base form. Marcus will walk to the harbor tomorrow. Look closely at what just happened there. Will plus walk gives you will walk. the helper carries the time, and the main verb stays in its plain base form. Notice it stayed walk, not walks, not walked. In formal writing, you will still meet shall. I shall try. We shall see. Whichever helper you choose, hold on to the rule that catches so many writers. After will, the base form never changes. Here is something the tense charts do not always tell you. English has more than one way to point at the future. You can use going to. Marcus is going to walk to the harbor. You can use about to, when the action sits right on the edge of happening. Marcus is about to leave the house. Those two sound a little less formal than will, but they name exactly the same time, the future. And there is a third move, a clever one. You can use a plain present tense verb, as long as some word in the sentence names a future time. The ferry arrives at noon tomorrow. Arrives is present in form, yet the word tomorrow pulls the whole sentence into the future. So do not hunt only for the word will. Ask instead what time the sentence really means. Let's fold all of that into a quick check you can run on any verb. Question 1. Is this happening now, or is it something that happens always, again and again? Then you want the present, and do not forget that S for she, he, or it. Question 2. Is the action finished and over, sealed away in the past? Then you want the past form of the verb. Question 3. Has it not happened yet? Is it still out ahead of us? Then you want the future. Will plus the base form, or going to, or a present verb with a future time word beside it. 3 questions, 3 tenses. Really, tense is nothing more than the verb telling time. Ready to practice? In this first set, I'll read you a sentence, and you name the tense of the verb, present, past, or future. Pause the video and decide before I reveal each answer. The ferry leaves the dock at 6 every morning. Look at the verb, leaves. Is it finished? No. Is it still ahead? No. It is what happens again and again, every single morning. A habit. And notice that S on the end, because the ferry is a third-person singular subject. This one is the present tense. Nadia carried the lantern down to the beach. The verb is carried, the past form of carry. The carrying started, the carrying finished, and it is over and done. Nothing about it is still happening, so the answer here is the past tense. We will paint the fence on Saturday. Here the verb comes in 2 pieces, will, and then the base form, paint. That helper will is your signal, and Saturday is still ahead of us. The painting has not happened yet. This one is the future tense. Now let's work on the forms themselves. For each item, choose the version that is correct, and keep an eye on what time the sentence is really pointing to. Pause and try each one before I answer. Present tense. She blank to work. The subject is she, one person, the third person singular. And that is the single place in the present tense where the verb changes shape. So we add the S. The correct form is walks. Future tense. They blank the flag at dawn. Raised is the past form, so it points backward, not forward. To build the future, we need will in front of the base form. The correct answer is will raise. The train arrives at noon tomorrow. The verb arrives certainly looks present. It even has the third person S. But read the whole sentence. The word tomorrow tells you when. The arrival has not happened yet. This sentence names future time. Let's gather everything up. The present tense names what is happening now, what happens again and again, and what is generally true. And remember to add that S when the subject is she, he, or it. The past tense names an action that started and was completed. You simply use the verb's past form, with no helping verb at all. And the future tense names what has not happened yet, will or shall in front of the base form, though you can also reach for going to, about to, or a plain present verb with a future time word beside it. 3 tenses, 1 timeline, and 1 question that unlocks them all. When? In our next lesson, we'll take these tenses further. I'll see you there.